Crypto fam, welcome to Debate Crypto. It's me, Crypto Keeper, and the Blockchain Crusader. How you doing tonight, Miguel?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. Guys, check it out. Get your butter ready because it's about to get popping. How you like that? Yep. So we're actually taking questions. This is Debate Crypto freestyle. So we're taking questions over from TikTok right now, and so we had someone start us off. Miguel, let you pop off on this one first because I know it's your favorite.
What is it?
XRP. They want to
Oh,
know.
good
They want to
Lord.
know that the team, the fam over here wants to know. How do you feel about XRP as a whole, and why
Okay.
is it good or why is it bad?
So it's not good or bad, right? But my personal thing about XRP is I don't believe. So we're in a crypto revolution, right? Everybody joins crypto because we're part of the crypto revolution. But yet there's people like the XRP community that wants to be on the XRP train, but they're supporting the banks, right? So if we're going to support the banks, but we're trying to be in a crypto revolution at the same time, how can you support the legacy system? Try to, you know, bring them up to date, make them more powerful, and then expect the revolution to happen at the same time, right? You're kind of like what is it that I'm
You
out
got
of
one
name
foot
now.
in, one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah, right. You're a bootlicker, right? Like you're you're part you're in the you're so it's simple as that, and that's the one reason why it's like if I'm part of the crypto revolution because I don't like banks, because I don't trust banks, because I want to do whatever I want with my money without having someone to give me permission, right? Like look what we're seeing with OnlyFans right now. Why is OnlyFans shutting down their explicit content? Because Mastercard and Visa, whatever it was, bankers are saying, hey, we don't want to deal with those transactions anymore, so they put pressure on the company. Crypto revolution solves that, but XRP, helping banks doesn't help that problem. It just screws people in the long term. Yes, you can make money with XRP. There is tons of money to be made with it, but I feel like it's dirty money for me. That's my personal opinion. There's nothing wrong. If you can make money with it, good for you. Awesome. It's just in my conscience, I can't do it.
Okay, I can get on board with that. Give me 1 second. I'm turning this up for the. I'm turning this up for here. Speak again, Miguel, real quick.
Hello, you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, there you go. One more time.
You hear me? You hear me? You hear me?
There
You
we
hear me?
go.
You hear me?
Yeah, I had to put it through the. I had to put it through the speakers to for the crypto fam over here on TikTok. They said, "Wait a minute, this stinks. I can't even hear what Miguel's saying." So, guys, you actually got blessed by not being able to hear what Miguel just said because everything that he just said was a load of hogwash. Okay, so let me get into it. So, XRP. Here's the deal: is it the banker's coin? Yes, it is. It is, and so you are correct about that. But let's just be real, right? Are we going to be getting away completely from the legacy system anytime soon? I think the facts are we're not. So you've got to be able to make money along the way, right? We've got to ultimately at the end of the day, yes, crypto, you can be a crypto purist and say, hey, this is a centralized effort. This is a company that's getting in and just absolutely just basically molding you and shaping you the way that they want to. They use advertising against you, and then they dump on you, which is a lot of what people will say with the
Yeah.
billion coins that come back in every month or that get put back into circulation every month. And so, while I can understand that, at the same time, I don't think as much as we love the idea of decentralization. I just don't think we're fully ready for it. So, what I will say is, in the meantime, I'm gonna make some money. And so I got into crypto originally for really one reason and one reason only. The reason I got into crypto was because I wanted to take control of my financial future and I was tired of the stock market, right? And I think that Ripple it gives a little bit of the best of both worlds in regards to being able to make that investment. Here's what it does. We all know that the banks, the legacy financial system, is in charge. I mean, literally, I think they're more in charge than our freaking government sometimes, right? So we know that. So knowing that and how much power they have, we also know that it's probably going to be set up to succeed. So I'm going to jump on board. I'm going to play. I'm going to be a band. I'm going to be a bandwagon. I'm going to be a bootlicker, as Miguel says, right? And after I get done licking boots, I'm going to be licking these gains. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be absolutely insane. And then, and only then, will I get back on my high horse and tell you that, hey, they're too centralized, but only after I make a ton of money. What do you think,
All
Miguel?
right. So okay. So yes, making money is nice, right? But what? So okay, I guess we should just start trading slaves and human trafficking because that makes tons of money. So it is what it is, right? It's good business. So if you're not gonna take ethical and moral standards when making your money, I mean, there's problems with that, right? Like Elon Musk got a lot of heat, right? Because his dad comes from like the emerald mining game back in Africa, and is basically slave labor, right? To get these things. And what are we supposed to just like congratulate his father for stuff like that, or are we supposed to be a moral society of saying, hey, that's not an ethical practice, right? If I understand that we're not going to be fully decentralized anytime soon, right? People are still going to depend on legacy banks and traditional banks, and that's fine. But keep the traditional banks where they are dealing with fiat. Don't bring them into the crypto world where they can then have more power to manipulate crypto and bring crypto back into reel it back into their domain and then make it their powerhouse again.
Right.
We're trying to get away from that instead of allowing these cryptos that help banks get in there and screw us in the long term.
I couldn't agree with you more in regards to the ultimate. First of all, you threw me with that comment there. That was freaking out of control. But I couldn't agree with you more in regards to just hey, it does matter where our money comes from. So I do agree with you on that for sure. But I also at the same time see the fact that, hey, the banks and the institutions are coming in anyways, right? They are. There's no stopping them. They're not just going, we're not going to be able to like, hey, this is our little secret club and we're not going to let don't let the banks know, right? So they're here. They have more money than we do. We are the quote dumb money. Well, hey, listen, if they're going to freaking step in and take control and try to manipulate the markets, I just want to make some money on the way up. All right. So while yes, I do not believe in supporting, slave labor. If we want to get down to, we're not selling drugs and whatnot to get our money. Right. But I'm going to make some money on the way up. And, that's just kind of where it ends with me. I do not have this, I have a moral compass for sure. No doubt. Right. I got out of living that way a long time ago, right? And I want to continue to live that way. But the moral compass also coincides with the fact that I have a future and a family to feed. And if Ripple fits into that budget, so to speak, fits into that narrative for a couple years, I'll work it out between me and God. You know what I mean? I'll chat it over with the big man, and we'll get there. We'll get there. So. I'm with you. So let's see here. Miguel, are you live or is it just me on TikTok? Is it just me?
It's just you.
Okay, cool. Good. Now I get to totally control this conversation, guys. This is fantastic. All right, let me see here. We got some more questions on here, guys. Let's see here. All right, here's a good one. And actually, this is more of a generic question. And I can't. Well. Yeah, we can do it. Let's not. Okay. We are not financial advisors, so we always need to say that, right? We are here to tell you our experience and what we are doing or what we would do in certain instances. So I like this. Miguel, we're getting into September almost, right? A lot of people have feelings on where they think we are as it relates to the bull run, okay? What do we have left in relation to this bull run? And so two-part question, and not just what do we have left, but if you had $5K, what would you be doing with it?
I had $5,000 right now. What would I be buying? Let me look at Coin Market Cap. So I would 5,000 at the current prices that we're seeing right now.
We're sitting right where we're at. Well, I want to know, where is the market headed, short term,
Okay.
medium term, and
I
then I
mean,
want to know what
we're
you would do
headed.
with 5K.
We're definitely headed to new all-time highs. Like I've been saying it for weeks now. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market is on a time crunch. If we're gonna see these black swan events that people keep talking about, right? Some huge correction in the stock market, real estate bubble, whatever is gonna happen with the mysterious fog around the world. Um, we're going to they're trying to push the crypto market back to its second leg up before all those events collide and take effect in the economy, right? To cash out. So I see us going to new all-time highs real soon in a matter of a few weeks. And I think with $5,000, I would be buying. Let me see, what would I buy right now? I would put $1,000 into. My first thousand. I would put it. Let me see what we got. What do we have here? I would put 1,000 into Audius, right?
Man,
TikTok.
how you gonna jump in there and swoop one of mine? All right. Go ahead. All right.
But I haven't gotten into Audius, so if I had money right now, I would be
Okay.
buying Audius. It's down 7% today. It's it's been taking a decent hit, so it's
Okay.
got good momentum, right? So I'd be putting 1,000 into that. I'd be putting in 1,000 into what's this other one? Elrond. I'll be putting 1,000 into Elrond, 1,000 into Quant, and that's 3,000. And then my last 2,000 would go. My last 2,000 would go between Polkadot and Cardano.
Okay. All right. So here's where I'm going to definitely disagree with you. Here now. I will say this: $5,000 is nothing to shake a stick at, right?
Yeah.
But the facts are, so you're breaking it up into 5 different assets, right?
Yep.
I guess it really depends on, hey, are we putting money in and just letting it sit? We didn't have any clarification with that. Are we putting money in, we just letting it sit for 10 years, or are we trying to make money right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my problem with diversifying into 5 different assets with $1,000 is, let's be real, none of those assets are going to create life-changing money, life-changing wealth, right? So it's a start. It's good. It lets you feel out the market, and we hope that one of those 5 is going to pop, right? And so while I agree with some diversification, man, I really have to feel more like, hey, I'm putting 3,500 into ETH, which I believe I can turn into 10K between now and the end of the run if we triple that up. And then the other 2K, I'm putting it into Cardano. And I think at the end of the day, I'm going to take 2K off Cardano, and I'm going to turn that into 8 to 10. And I think I'm going to take 3.5K with ETH, or 1,500 with Cardano, and 3.5 in ETH, whatever. And I'm going to turn that into 10. I think you turn it into to 20K. In relation to the bull run, I guess what I'm getting at is, I've been over diversified before, right?
Yes.
5 assets is not over diversified, albeit we're talking about a smaller amount of capital like right now. So that's why I kind of feel like, hey, let's try to get one that's going to be a more steady, like this is going to go, and the other one be a little bit more speculative. And let's be real, we were just talking about XRP. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win this lawsuit.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. If you are a gambler, put the 5K all in the XRP. Roll the dice. Roll the dice. Listen, I mean, you can't go wrong with turning a quick 10, 12x, whatever it would be. As far as the bull run goes, here's my problem with giving a prediction on the bull run right now. The landscape of our economy. We have too much unknown right now as to where the heck is this world heading, right? And Miguel, you and I have talked about this. There are so many question marks right now. I hate the question marks. And I'll tell you what else hates the question marks is crypto. So I told my sister earlier today, she asked me to basically make a full on, not just suggestion, but just flat out tell her what to buy, right? It's my sister. So I don't have to tell her I'm not a financial advisor. She freaking knows, right? And I'll tell you the advice that I gave her. I said, you know what? You're not in the market right now. My advice to you is to wait. My advice to you is to wait until this market dumps. Because if you put it into a more secure asset like Bitcoin or Ethereum, that's great long term if you're just going to set it and forget it. But if you're trying to make some quick money now, I think there's too much of a risk with the political landscape right now.
You think there's too much risk right now?
Too much risk with the political landscape for somebody that's never been in the market, that doesn't know anything about the markets, doesn't know how to navigate it, wouldn't be able to get in and out if need be quickly.
Well, okay, yeah. If you don't know how to get in and out and don't know how to deal with that stuff, then yeah. But the 5 cryptos that I mentioned, I believe each one of them is capable of at least 3xing, right? At least 3xing. So that would be a good amount of money, and you can still diversify into a lot of different projects.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. Over diversification is not a good thing, and Ethereum and Cardano are solid picks. But all those other projects can at least 3x. They can do a lot more than that.
That's fantastic that you're going to 3x on those 5 projects. That puts you at 15 grand. My setup was going to give you 20. So let's just do some quick basic math here. Winner!
I said minimum 3x. We can do a lot more than just that. So we got a question from YouTube, actually. Mm-hmm. So the question is, what are our thoughts on Cardano versus Ethereum long term?
Oh, man. Okay, so everyone does this. So everyone wants to compare Cardano versus Ethereum. Here's what I really think. I think that Cardano is, listen, you guys know my girlfriend's, sitting behind me on the wall up here, right? Everybody knows I love ETH. So I am absolutely going to tell you how ETH is going to outlast and outperform Cardano. However, let's be fair and let's be real. If these smart contracts roll out the way that Charles Hoskinson is pushing and saying that they're going to, Cardano is going to take market share from Ethereum. There's just no way that it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Because the gas fees aren't going to be there. So the retail investor that can't afford to jump on and pay a couple $100 to make a transaction, it's going to matter for them. Where I think the craziness starts to really happen is 2 things with Ethereum, and why I think Ethereum is going to outperform and outlast and continue to flourish is going to be EIP 1559. As NFTs continue to absolutely just boom, the burn rate is going to continue to get higher and higher, and we are going to have a supply crisis at some point. So I think that's super important for ETH, right? And the other part is, let's be real, like it does have first mover advantage, and the overall market sentiment as it relates to these institutions, as much as they freaking make us mad, as much as we don't want them there. Let's be real. We don't want them there when they want to play with our finances, but we do want them there when they're going to pump our bags. So I think long term, just let's call it what it is. I think long term, I think they're going to coexist. I think Cardano and Ethereum are both going to stay alive. I think Ethereum is going to absolutely rip long term. I think Cardano is going to rip long term. I think that if you are a newer investor and you were to jump in right now and you said, hey, what should I do? I literally think that's a damn coin flip with that. I really do. I think they're both fantastic projects.
I would 100% agree with that. I think, right, the perfect example would be, look at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin used to be 100% market share, right? The only crypto around. All these other cryptos came around. Ethereum, the biggest smart contract platform, number 2, has close to 20% of the entire market, right? It has tons of market shares to give up to Cardano and still be number 2, right? So it's whatever Cardano is going to take won't be relevant to the fact of it won't be an Ethereum killer. They will coexist, right? Cardano is going to do tons of things. Cardano's even talked about also adding a burn rate, right? Charles Hoskin came out saying that they were actually interested in developers to put the open source code out there and create a burn app, a burn rate for Cardano, and if it's good enough, they will push it into the code.
Where did you hear that?
That's actually headlines. That was actually a headline maybe 2 days ago at most.
I missed that. Okay.
I can actually pull up the article for you in a little bit if you want. So they're taking that into consideration, right? Because there's tons of Cardano out there, and they want to burn some off, right, to increase price. So Cardano will definitely not be an Ethereum killer, but it doesn't mean that Cardano doesn't have potential to become a big name in the space. It's already a big name in the space, but really attract developers, get a lot of dApps on there, and start building its own platform, right? Look at Solana. Solana is doing its thing too, right? And there's tons of market share. Ethereum is not going away anytime soon. So people shouldn't be focused on Ethereum versus Cardano, Cardano versus Solana, Solana versus Ethereum, right? They're all can coexist. Bitcoin, which does nothing compared to Ethereum and these other coins, right, still holds over 50% or 40-something%, close to 50 of the entire market share. Yeah. So these other cryptos that are competing in the same smart contract realm will also continue to coexist. So that's what I got to say about that.
Somebody in TikTok just said, and I think this will segue nicely. Somebody in TikTok just said, "Get real, man. ETH is going nowhere because of the gas fee." Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, say that about fiat, right? Or look how much gas fees there is when the banks are transferring money from one place to the next, right? They're still around, right? And they're not going away, like you said. They're not going away anytime soon. Right, that's why they're begging XRP or depending on XRP to try to save them. But whatever, that's a different. That we were already past that debate. Gas fees, they suck, right? You know what else suck? Taxes. Can you get away from them? No, right? So it's a part of the Ethereum chain, right? And the developers understand the gas fees. The gas fees will get better. They will get worse at times, and they'll get better at times. But developers understand that when you put your dApp or you put your NFTs or you put whatever on Ethereum, it sells. It gets users, right? It's the biggest platform. So yes, there's gas fees. Yes, there's nothing is perfect. Not everything has its cons, but it will definitely always attract developers, and it will continue to grow.
Yeah, I can't even argue with you on this one as much as I was trying to figure out something to argue with you about on that one. Listen, the fact is that you said it, the developers, and that's who you need to be on to have on board, the developers. When the developers are on board, guess what? Things start to happen. These developers are who are pushing out these projects, right? Now we have layer 2 scaling solutions, right? That'll speed things up. I won't be surprised if someone comes along and figures out some sort of a way to mitigate some more of the gas fees. But let's be real. The institutions and these developers are, let's just call it what it is. They are not concerned about your piddly little few $1,000, assets that you're trying to move around. They're not worried about your little, 2 ETH NFT that you felt like was just a massive purchase. They're worried about people like Visa spending $150K on a freaking NFT that if you asked whoever made that transaction a reality what the gas fee was, they would laugh at you, right? Because they wouldn't know. And so it's the same thing as it is with the stock market. The smart money is what rules the world here, right? In relation to this, it's going to be the same thing as it relates to ETH, and ETH just isn't going anywhere. That has more dApps built on top of it than anything else. It is not going anywhere. And I just got to tell you, whoever said that on TikTok, I think it was Robert Lee Knott. I got to tell you, my brother, you are wrong.
Yeah, we got Jake Biz on Twitch right now saying high gas fees are temporary. 100%, right? Ethereum will continue to do better. It will continue to bring down the gas fees. The NFT craze won't last forever. There are different times in the market where gas fees are going to be less than other times. But at the end of the day, the development is there. Ethereum 2.0 is going to come sometime next year. right? When the bear market should be in and things are going to be a lot lower, and that would also bring gas fees a lot lower than it was before, right? Like this IP 1559 upgrade, the London hard fork, it itself has already lowered the gas fees from what it used to be. Yeah, they're high again, but look how much more demand that we're seeing right now compared to what it was before.
Yeah, no doubt. So I just feel like I think that was Robert that said that. I just think that I would just have to we're gonna have to agree to disagree because
We got a question from YouTube as well. We got another one saying,
what we got?
where do you see the price of Cardano going?
Well, I mean, I guess we could give a long term, short term. So short term, hold on, let me pull this up. Right,
Let's just talk all time high by the end of this bull market.
By the end of this bull market, I've already actually said this on TikTok on a couple videos, one on Clapper, a couple other places. I think we're $5 to $8 conservatively. I don't think that we're going to bust $10, but I will say this. If Bitcoin, so there's been a lot of people talking recently about all of the sudden, like it was 100K. Everybody's talking 100K at this point after the consolidation and the little mini bear market.
Yep.
I've heard a bunch of people recently talking about Bitcoin's going to hit 200K now all of a sudden really quickly, right? I've heard it a lot. Here's what I will say. If Bitcoin has, just like it always does, Bitcoin ties everything to its belt and drags it one way or the other. So if Bitcoin actually has a true parabolic blow off top, I got news for you. Who freaking knows where Cardano is going? But I think it will be temporary. I think that when we run like this straight up, we have to be prepared. And this is something that I've learned over the years in crypto. If you go like this, you are coming back down like this, which is why a nice stair step makes people that are in technical analysis and just in crypto in general that have been in for a while more comfortable. Yes, the parabolic runs are fun. Yes, I see Cardano getting a nice piece of that action. But yeah, I'm saying $5 to $8. What do you think, Miguel?
I also agree with that. $5 to $8. I mean, 5 is definitely low. We're almost at 3 already. So I think 5, that's going to be a piece of cake. So I definitely think, $8, 10, maybe even $12 could be very easy to achieve. But what was that? I kind of lost my train of thought there. Conservatively, yeah, the all-time high for Bitcoin, right? People are talking 100,000, 200,000, right? If you look at the charts, right, the logarithmic chart, right, with the rainbow stuff going on, right, we should be hitting that 300,000, that high $200,000 mark easy this bull run. But with more institutional money coming in comes more manipulation. The banks, right, and the institutions, they understand that Bitcoin can't be stopped, but it can be delayed, right? And they've been taking steps for that. They did it in 2017. The day that they published Bitcoin on the CBOE or CME exchanges for futures contracts, it was the day Bitcoin crashed from 20,000 down to the into the bear market.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing will happen this bull run. It's expected to hit a certain price range. We probably won't hit it because they will try to cap it, right? Bitboy Crypto has mentioned this a lot of times, and it makes a lot of sense. The higher the number goes, the faster the adoption goes, because the more headlines, the more people get their eyes on it and start hearing about it, and they're like, oh man, this Bitcoin thing, right? But the way, if they can cap it and they can FUD it, right, and then it drops from 100 back down to 20, is like, oh man, what a terrible investment, right? All these people got in at 100 and they've lost so much money. We need to protect you guys from yourselves. Stop buying Bitcoin, but we'll buy it and we'll sell it back to you when it's safe, right? Because that's the play. Institutions are loading up to buy up Bitcoin, and then they're going to resell it to you when they're like, okay, the volatility is gone. It's safe now. Yeah. Now you want to sell it to me because it's not going to go anywhere. Nobody's going to want to buy it at whatever price because it's not going to go up or down anymore. But I think I went on a rant there.
No, you're good. You're good. So I actually, we got a good one here from YouTube. So it says, we laugh at crap coins and meme coins, but why is Shiba Inu on most major exchanges now, and Dogecoin may realistically hit $1? I'm going to start on this one, Miguel.
Yes, go ahead.
So this is near and dear to my heart. For any of you that have followed me for any sort of time, you all know and are familiar with my Shiba Inu special hardware wallet, right? Right here, it absolutely just fits in there nicely. That is the special hardware wallet for all meme coins and crack coins. Okay. So everybody's heard that joke. Ha ha ha. Okay. Let me talk about it for a second. This is a very simple answer. The answer for why Shiba is on most major exchanges is, well, it is in the form of a question. How does Coinbase make their money? And I will give you the answer. Transaction fees. So here's what I'm saying. You have an asset. I don't even want to call it an asset, but I'll call it that, right? That is incredibly inexpensive. So you have, when I say inexpensive, I'm talking about from a standpoint of an investor that doesn't really know these markets, looks at the price only, just like I did when I first got into crypto and said, ooh, that's cheap. I can buy a bunch of that. And if it goes to this number, I'm going to be rich, right? They have what's called price bias. They see that really low number and they buy, right? So Coinbase makes the majority of their money from transaction fees. So guess how many freaking transactions are happening from people saying, you know what? I could just put in $1,000 here and it would change my life, right? And so Coinbase is capitalizing. And guess what? I can't really blame them. Here's the deal. The crappy thing is meme coins can make you a lot of money. And you're saying, wait a minute, how is that a crappy thing? The crappy thing is that they'll lose you money much faster. And so they drag people in. You might make some money. You get excited. I have people asking me about, oh, what's up with Shiba? What's up with Doge? Guys, I 100x'd on Doge, right? And yet I'm still telling you, be freaking careful. It is transaction fees, transaction fees, transaction fees. And I don't know that Miguel's probably going to have another answer for you. Do you, Miguel?
No, I completely agree with that, right? Shiba Inu and Dogecoin are a marketing tactic, right? They are a marketing tactic. They bring new people into these exchanges because they're super cheap, and people think, oh man, if I can, like you said, right? If you buy it at 5 cents and it goes to $1, I'm gonna be rich, right? And that's what brings people in. You know, that's what leaves people with a bad taste in their mouth when it crashes on them because they don't understand what it is that they're actually buying, but it is what it is, right? It helps the space because it brings new people in, but it hurts them because then some people get discouraged and they leave crypto because they didn't make the gains that they thought they were going to make, and they end up losing money. And it is what it is. It's a marketing tactic to get people, like you said, transactions as well, make money on exchanges, and that's what they want.
So we got I couldn't agree with you more. We've got actually a really popular one in Matic, Polygon. Somebody is asking over on TikTok, they're asking Miguel, what is to happen with Matic, Polygon as ETH2 rolls out? Tell me your thoughts.
So like I said before, right, I think they will pivot. I think they obviously understand that this was a moment that was going to happen. I think that they used Ethereum and helped Ethereum as a way of establishing themselves in the market, right? Who talked about Matic or who actually believed in Matic before they did what they did with Ethereum, right? Helping them with their actual layer 2 solution and their scaling or whatever. Nobody, right? Everybody was just like, oh yeah, it has potential, it has this. Nobody's doubting Polygon or Matic's potential anymore.
I'll tell you who believed in it. He's got 2 thumbs. This
I'm just saying it wasn't an established name, right? Like it was just like it's kind of like Audius before it got to TikTok, right? It was just like, oh, it has potential, but then boom, it had its moment, right? Now Audius is Audius, everybody has his eye on it. Same thing with Polygon and Polygon Matic, right? It established itself, and now it knows that even though Ethereum 2.0 is coming out, it might no longer need Polygon, right? They're going to pivot. I don't know how they're going to pivot or what it is that they're going to do, but they could definitely help other projects with their scaling solutions. And I've heard that they're pivoting into NFTs, something in the NFT related gaming situation, right? The Rev Racing game that I mentioned to you, that I showed you on TikTok the other day when I was playing, that's actually ran on Polygon, on the Matic network. So that just shows you it has more use cases than just what it did for Ethereum.
Yeah. I actually don't. I don't have anything to add to that because I 100% agree with you. I know this is supposed to be debate crypto, but on a couple of these topics, we are actually thinking with the same mind. So let me ask you this, Miguel. And actually, I'm going to start on this. The 2022 bear market, will it be similar to 2018? Okay, here's what I think. So first of all, let's be clear.
Before you get there, guys, smash the likes on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button, smash whatever like button they have on there. You know, I know you guys, we got 7-8 people watching. We can get those likes up. Come on, guys.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate it, guys. Not just on TikTok. We got a bunch of people in TikTok, 40 to 55 people over on TikTok consistently right now, which is fantastic. So we can smash that up. But that helps me on TikTok, guys. We need some followers over on YouTube and Twitch. It would really help us out if you guys are enjoying the show. Plus, you get to see Miguel's beautiful face if you go over to Twitch and or TikTok, or YouTube. So hey, that's just throwing that out there. So back to the question. So is 2022 bear market going to be like 2018? Well, the first part of that question is that assumes that you believe that we're going to be in a bear market in 2022, which I do believe that. Okay. Miguel, maybe you could toss at me how that could not happen, whether you believe it or not. Maybe you could tell me how that could not happen. But here's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that there is a law. It's the law of exponential. It's basically exponential returns. What's that?
You're talking about diminishing returns?
Yeah, diminishing returns. And thank you. And so I actually did a video on this recently, but law of diminishing returns. And here's what it basically states. It's that there comes a point when these assets get so high in regards to market cap that it takes so much money to move, okay, that let me back up. I hear a lot of people say, well, in 2018, everything dropped 85%. So therefore, we are going to drop 85% this time. Well, here's the reality. Moving 85% from $1 trillion down to whatever that puts us at 1.5 billion or whatever that number is, right, is a massive difference versus going from 8 trillion down to 1 trillion. I guess what I'm saying is these numbers are going to be so much larger that it takes a lot more money to move it. And so with that in mind, do I think it's going to be similar? Sure. I think we're going to have a bear market. Here's where I think it's going to be different. I think it's going to be different. And I think in some cases it might be worse with our political instability. I would be lying to you if I didn't say that I was absolutely ready for this next crazy bear market. And I'll tell you why. I sat through the last one and I see the gains that I've been able to accrue now and what I've been able to do. And I'm looking at this next one and saying, hey, we're not talking about just making money now. We're talking about life-changing wealth for myself, my daughter, my family, and maybe generations to come if done correctly. And so, is it going to be a bear market 2022? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be. Is it going to be similar? Sure, it's going to be a bear market just like another bear market. But I think that we could have even more turmoil because of the political landscape.
So my thoughts on the 2022 bear market, right? There exists the possibility that we could go into, right? People call it a super cycle, right? But I don't want to call it a super cycle exactly how it's defined, right? I think it's going to be more of institutions are here to play, right? Previously, we went to the bear market and we went nowhere but down and sideways for 2 years straight, right? We did not. We had a minor pump. I believe it was in 2019 where Bitcoin hit 14,000 and then it dropped right back down. And that was the only like relief rally that we saw. But I don't think that institutions are just going to go to sleep for the next 2 years until 2024 when the next halving happens and the cycle takes up again, right? That's how it should be historically through the 4-year cycle, right? I think institutions are here and they're going to play between now and that next cycle. So I think if we don't break to crazy all-time highs of, $150,000, $250,000 by the end of this year, by the end of where this cycle should be ending, I think we're going to have we're going to have little pumps, like we are going to have little legs up on the way until 2024, right? We saw 50% retracement in May that lasted 2 months, right? 2 months and a half before we saw a relief. I think the same thing can happen. We can have the bear market begin, right, at the beginning of 2022, the end of this year, and we can go down drastically, right? 60, 70% even. And then we can come right back up, try to retest those all-time highs, right? Those all-time highs are a lot higher than what they were in 2017, right? Yeah. So, and they're going to be making that money because institutions are not just going to sit on Bitcoin or sell all their Bitcoin and just, all right, guys, we'll be back in 2024, right, when things are supposed to kick back up. I think they're going to be there making sure that the engine keeps running and that there's constant pumps in between, right? Fewer and fewer, but there's going to be pumps in between more than what we've seen in previous bear markets. Whether we're going to hit new all-time highs or not, right? I don't know. Or we're going to just reach the previous all-time high that we create and then just come back down, right? That's going to be tons of money to be made in those swings, right? Because if Bitcoin goes to 150, drops back down to 50,000, that lost $100,000 of value right there, and then it comes back up to 90, 100, comes back down to maybe 40, right? Shoots back up close to 100. There's tons of money, things that did not happen in 2018, 2019.
Okay. So you think there's going to be some bigger swings in there when they're shorting and longing and actually actively playing with the market.
Yes.
Okay. I could see that. Hey guys, you guys said on YouTube that you don't see the like button here. You've got to X out of the live chat. So you just literally hit the little X, the live chat, or to get out of the live chat, and then hit the like button, and then you can go right back into the live chat. So if you guys are tossing us likes, which obviously we love it. I mean, shoot, you can dislike it. Whatever. Either way, it doesn't. It hits the as BitBoy Crypto says, that it hits the algorithm the same way. So hey, do your thing. But yeah, close the live chat, and then you'll see the like button. So that's that. So Miguel, check it out. I see. All right, if I didn't think that what you just said was even a possibility, I would be selling all of my bags temporarily at what I believe to be the this bull market's high, or what I believe to be at the local high, whatever the case may be. I would be selling everything and then and then buying back in at the bottom, reaccumulating again, rinse and repeat. Now, that is literally the way to gain the most amount of wealth. But we would be absolutely crazy in telling you, oh yeah, just buy at the bottom, sell at the top, and then rinse and repeat. It's simple. I mean, you guys are going to be fine, right? If it was simple, we wouldn't have Wall Street, right? People just would be sitting at home at this point, and they would be just buying the bottom, selling the top, and everybody's good, right? Everybody's a multimillionaire, billionaire, whatever. But that's not a reality. But the reason that I am not selling my entire stack, right, my entire bags, are just in case for what you just said, for in case we go into an extended run. So my game plan is to sell approximately 75%-ish, 65 to 75%, probably closer to 75% of my bags, and try to then wait to reaccumulate. Now, the reason that I'm keeping that other portion in there is because, well, two reasons. One, I can see happening what you're saying in regards to possibly extending and some prices playing around in between, albeit I still think at that point it's going to be a freaking wild ride, and I still think it's going to be bearish overall. Just statistically speaking, until that changes, it doesn't change. You know what I mean? It is exactly what it is until it, like the trend is your friend until the end, right? And so until they show us differently, I do agree with you. So that for that reason, I will be keeping a chunk in. The other reason is, what if, Miguel, and I know neither of us believe this, but what if we did go into an actual super cycle where we go up to, let's just say 100K, right? And then we just kind of hover and play around there for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And then all of a sudden we push from 100 to 120. And I'm like sitting here waiting I'm just like sitting here waiting, like, when am I going to reaccumulate? This isn't even back past where I sold my bags. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, how long is this going to go? And then it continues to go. And there are people that think that this could absolutely happen. Here's what I think about that, just to finish. I think that is going to be a 2030 and beyond type of thing where we're going to
Exactly.
get steady and we're going to steady out.
Yes, exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. I 100% believe that because after 2030, then after the next two halvings for Bitcoin will be rewards would be cut down to I think less than one Bitcoin per. We're at 6.25. We'll shoot down to three something at 2024. 2028 we're going to shoot down to 1.5, 1.7 something maybe. So then after 2028, it's going to be less than one Bitcoin per reward, right? The majority of Bitcoin is already circulating in the markets, right? The mining is not really going to be too relevant anymore by the end of this decade, and the supply is already there. Whoever's got Bitcoin has got it. Whoever doesn't have it doesn't have it. The ones that have been lost in wallets and hardware over the years at the beginning of Bitcoin is lost. So that means we have even less supply. So I think that the mining is no longer going to be relevant, and that could put us into a super cycle, right, where things kind of trend up. But we got to see how institutions play it. Institutions just got here. We don't know how they're going to keep it, right? They're going to keep it afloat, how they do like the stock market, right, where they try to keep it as high as possible always, or they're going to keep that like, giant swings where they dump it down, right? They FUD it up in the mainstream media. Everybody gets scared, panics. It's like, we told you not to buy it. It's super dangerous. Hold cash instead. And then they're the ones in the background just buying it back up. Right?
Guys, let's be freaking real. It was, I believe, Grayscale was actively telling, or BlackRock. It might have been BlackRock. I think BlackRock was actively So when we just went through this little cycle between May 18th and whenever this kicked back off a couple weeks ago, I think it was BlackRock was actively telling you, and I could pull news articles and show you, actively telling you, listen, people are overextended when it comes to crypto. Stay away, beware, it's dangerous. Okay? Fast forward. Their earnings report comes out. Guess what these freaking fools were doing while they are telling you to be scared? They are freaking buying 300% of what they already had, and they already had some massive numbers. So let's talk it over here. Factor FUD, right? Are these institutions, do they really believe that crypto is a threat? Or are they basically just saying you are the threat, that they're not going to get to buy up all the bags for cheap? Which is it?
Yes, I do think there's both. I think they do realize that Bitcoin is a threat, right? But the problem is to that, like we said earlier in the show, they don't have ethics about making money, right? They just care about making money. So they don't care if it's a threat to the dollar. They're just like, this is a money-making opportunity. We're going to ride this train all the way home, right? So they're going to make money off of it, even if it's a threat. Two, they do see us as a threat. They don't want us being ahead on the train of them, right? So they're going to FUD us out, right? Jamie Dimon has been doing this for years, right? There's been plenty of evidence proven. He said it multiple times that he would fire anybody that works for him if they were buying Bitcoin in his company.
How do they sleep at night?
They don't care, man. They are detached from money. They are detached from the average person losing money every time they say certain things like that, right? We are, like Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful says, we are cockroaches to these people, bro. We're nothing to them, right? They can stomp us and they won't lose us, drop asleep. And they're just trying to, continue that wealth accumulation, and they don't want to lose the transfer of wealth that's happening with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, right? So they're going to FUD us out, make sure they have the higher end, and then they're going to trickle down, right? They're going to sell us the crumbs when things are sky high.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I think that this is, I know technical analysis well enough to be dangerous. I can look at a chart and see a rising wedge, just basic, chart patterns. Okay. And so that being said, one of the biggest things that I think is so important when it comes to charting is like on-chain metrics, right? And what do I mean by that? If you're new to crypto, what I mean by that is, when are the whales buying? where are they accumulating, right? Where are they selling? Is there massive amounts of money coming into Tether? Because that is generally a bullish sign that people are getting ready for a buy. Here's what I can say, crypto fam. There are so many basic ideas as you are in crypto longer and longer that to me scream, oh my gosh, this is fantastic news. Things are moving forward, right? Whereas if you have not been in these markets, you do not know what's going on. You hear some news and you take it at face value. Like we're supposed to be able to believe what the news says. And I think the sad thing is that's not where we're at right now. And if I don't care if you lean right, lean left, I'm not going to get political. You can't really tell me that you just believe what is put out in the news anymore. And so I'll segue into this. Bitcoin mining being so bad for the environment. Guys, listen, it's literally factual that the miners make more money if they spend less money while they're mining. So why would they not want to use renewable energy? It doesn't make sense. Secondly, on top of that, I think the entire world's worth of energy, and this was even when they were mining in China and using coal as a power source, I think it was literally equivalent to the city of Los Angeles, or I mean, to the city of Las Vegas. Now, everybody's thinking, oh, Vegas lights, it's a da-da-da-da. Listen, guys, Vegas isn't even near the top of the list, even kind of, in just the United States. We use less power from all the world's Bitcoin mining than the dryers operating in the US alone. Should we stop drying our clothes?
Canada has more hydroelectric power that's more than double the hydroelectric power that they output from their dams than what Bitcoin requires. I think it's like 400 something, and Bitcoin only requires like 120 something gigawatts or whatever it is, gigahertz or whatever it is that it requires for power consumption. So yeah, mainstream media, right? When you were talking about that point, all I want to say is people think we're in the age of information. We're in the age of misinformation. Everything is about fudding everything on the mainstream media. So nobody has a true opinion about anything, right? Because we have the power to look up anything and be like, wow, we can educate ourselves so fast, way faster than before, right? On anything, any topic at all. So how do they prevent us from educating ourselves in things they don't want us to know? Bombard us with tons of information that all contradicts each other. And then you're like, wait, what? What am I supposed, how do I filter out the BS from the actual facts when there's tons of articles and they all contradict each other on whatever topic, whether it's crypto, whether it's whatever, right? The power consumption issue, right? Investing, financial literacy, whatever. They just bombard us with information that the average person cannot filter out the good stuff from the bad stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And that is ultimately part of the problem, right? That people are not getting educated enough on a topic and then tossing money into something that they don't fully understand. And then and listen, the institutions understand this. The news media understands that we read headlines and we tell it to our friends, right? Think about how many times you've had a friend, right, come and tell you some fact that something has happened or something is happening. And then literally they could be like, you could ask them where they heard it. Well, it was on CNBC or whatever, right? And then you open up and you look at okay, I'm reading the headline. Okay, next. And then you get into the article. Listen, guys, the headline was freaking clickbait. When you read the article, it says something different. And even if it doesn't say something different, there's probably 10 other sources, if you dig, that are going to say something different. I want to touch on this. Miguel and I got interviewed by a lady on CNBC this last week. Okay. And she was talking about the TikTok, basically the stuff going on with TikTok as it relates to not basically posting or pushing crypto content. All right. It is literally happening where we saw our analytics go from a mountaintop to a riverbed overnight. And I think a lot of people hear it and they think that you and I these creators are making excuses for why our content's not as good anymore, or any of these other things that people could concoct, right? When just
Yes.
the fact is, guys, it's just not getting pushed out, right? They are absolutely trying to control the narrative. And so if
Yes.
you can control the narrative, then you can control the output. If you can control the input, you can control the output. If all I'm doing is feeding you black and white, 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 where does the different colors of red and orange and blue and yellow come in? Well, all you've been fed is black and white. That's all you know. We were talking, or Miguel, you were talking about that the other night with Crystal, where like if you're in a black and white room your whole life and you've never seen color, do you really know color? And so with that in mind, listen, guys, you got to understand that the input, what you're taking in, isn't always face value. Don't take it just, oh, okay, read the art or read the headline, read the article, don't need to read another one. That one person, because the CNBC reporter even told me, hey, look, I'm investigating this because it's a problem. And TikTok is the fastest growing, largest social media app on the planet, to my understanding, and they're going to shut us down and shut us up, right? It just, man, it's just, it sucks. You know what I mean?
It's about delay. They know they can't stop it, right? It's all about delaying.
And what's the delay? What's the purpose for the delay, Miguel, as it relates to an investment?
So they can ramp up, so they can pack their bags, so they can get ready, right? And when they have just enough to the brim where they can't hold anymore, then they're like, okay, let's sell the crumbs back to everyone else because now it's safe because we're telling you it's safe. It's only good when the information is coming directly from us telling you what to do. If somebody else is giving you information, you're educating yourself. No, don't do that. Wait for us to educate you. Wait for us to tell you when to buy. That's when it's safe. And that's what they want us to keep thinking.
Yep. And Debbie says everything you look up on Google is censored now also. Guys, that is a fact. There are certain things that you cannot look up on Google right now without getting a twisted, hey, this is what we want you. And one of those is, we can't say the word on here because they're really weird about it. But the phenomena that happened in March of 2020, right? Listen, we're not sitting here saying that it's not a real thing. We're sitting here saying you're getting bad freaking information. And I'm not saying it's coming from this side or this side. It's coming from all different sides, bad information. And somewhere in the mixing pot, somewhere in there is truth. And so you've got to figure out getting to that truth. I get, if you can't tell, I get freaking amped up about that. It's just, it boils my freaking blood to see that ultimately, think about this. I've got a 12-week-old daughter. If right now, as she grows up, I introduce her to no one and I tell her what she is allowed to hear, I don't let her have an iPad. I don't let her consume the kind of content that she wants to consume, but I push out radical ideas to her from the age of 12 weeks old to the age of 12. You tell me what that little girl is going to believe as fact and as truth. It's going to be exactly what my narrative is. And that is what the news media is trying to do. They're trying to push out a narrative that they are comfortable with, that they want you believing because it helps them stack their bags. It helps them with their overall goal of control.
Yes, 100% agree. 100% agree with that. It's just about their interest, right? It's about keeping us dependent on them for information and for us to be dependent on them to make moves, right? Not to make an unexpected move that they're without their consent about it. And that way they can always be in the lead. So it's simple as that. It's just manipulation and control.
So Miguel, let's finish on this one. This one's a good one. I don't want to push it too much over an hour. Let's finish it with this one. What are your thoughts on staking pools? This is a YouTube question. What are your thoughts on staking pools with the influx of hacked platforms? Is it safe to do so? So I think there is some misinformation in that question. But go ahead, Miguel. Shoot it off, and then I'll take us out.
obviously there's always risk, right? There's risk associated with putting your money on platforms, right? That's why we say don't keep your money on exchanges, right? Putting your money on these staking pools or Celsius Network, BlockFi, and there's a few other ones, Pancake Swap, whatever. Right? Anything can happen, right? Your crypto is put on their hands, so you're running risk, right? But at the same time, yes, you could just hold it in your wallet, but you're missing out on gains that you could potentially make during a bear market, right, where the money is not really doing anything. At least it's gaining some interest. And at the end of the day, you do the same thing with fiat. You put your money in the bank, you're running a risk already. They tell you, hey, we don't want you to take out that $5,000, so you go invest in whatever. You're not taking that $5,000 out. Oh, hey, by the way, you can't buy OnlyFans anymore because we don't want you to. Boom, your transaction is declined. So it's just the same risk, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the hacking narrative as well, though it's a fact, right? But hacks have been happening. I mean, think about it. Think about this. Target. I don't know if you guys remember this. This Target, the shopping, the freaking retail store Target. What was it? A couple years ago, Target had their payment processing system hacked, and it got everybody's freaking emails and all their information and a whole bunch of credit card numbers and all that.
That just happened to T-Mobile.
That just happened to T-Mobile too. Okay. So these are massive companies that are having this happen. Don't let the fact that this just happens as a rule stop you from being able to make extra gains that you should otherwise be able to make. Here's the deal. Is there, just like Miguel said, is there risk? Yes, there's inherent risk in anything you do with your money besides, stuff your money in a mattress. Tell me how much it grows for one, and for two, tell me what happens when the house burns down, right? There is inherent risk in anything that you do with your investment. Look at it however you want to. That is just a fact. Here's what I do think. I think that my hardware wallets that are sitting in very strategic places that also, by the way, are able to stake, right, are a very, very good option. I talk about hardware wallets. I will plug, if you guys are on TikTok, jump on, hit my link tree. I've got a link for Ledger Nano X. That is definitely a platform. It is a wallet that I absolutely trust because guess what? All of these hacks that are happening are to hot wallets. They are to stuff that is on the actual internet right now that they can get to. You ain't getting to my hardware wallet, right? Listen, if you get past my English Mastiffs, right? My friend that is chambered, lots of them in the house, right? If you are able to get by all of that and you can get the safes out of the house or get into them somehow, listen, you've earned it. Fantastic. Now, hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. You still don't have access because guess what? You don't actually have the you don't have the passwords that you need, do you? So you're gonna have to take me with you. You're gonna have to hold me hostage, right? This is gonna be a big long process, right? Whereas if you just leave everything on freaking hot wallets, guys, the access is there. It is there. Just like any other time, any other big retailer, anywhere else, the access is there. So Miguel and I will both tell you, be freaking safe. Be safe with your assets. Do everything you can to protect yourself because you're worth it and your family's worth it.
100%.
Yeah. So guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. We are going to sign off for this evening. Guys, listen, if you're on TikTok right now, follow us, Debate Crypto, on Twitch and YouTube. If you guys enjoyed this, DM me, send me a message. You can hit me on any of the platforms. I've got the link tree. It's got my other links to all of that. To the different platforms. We freaking love you guys. We appreciate you. We will be on playing poker this Friday night, again, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to play another game of poker with a bunch of the influencers. And then we will be putting out next week. We've got, what is his name again? Oh, gosh, I'm terrible. Blake
Harris.
Blake Harris Law. He is the crypto attorney. He is going to be on here on Debate Crypto, and we are going to talk about regulations as they relate to cryptocurrency. So
100%.
guys, stick around. Make sure you shoot us a follow. Throw us some likes if you haven't already thrown the likes. Smash them. And yeah, guys, we love you. Have a great night.
Peace.